Student Loan Act, I feel it should even be dead on arrival because you can't, it's not even a policy that's supposed to be adopted in the first place, because not for countries like Nigeria, even in countries where they are practice, they are even calling for them to stop loaning because it is impoverishing the young population, that's the youth, the students over there, because most of them are not even able to cope anymore. Now, even looking at the conditions for the loan is more like zero, because it will make it not accessible to the regular people. So that is not even the case at all. So for me, I don't see it as a right option. I don't see it as a good thing at all. So it should be cancelled totally.
It is actually a joke because you can't tell me you want to borrow me money. So let me use that word, borrow me money. And the requirements, the criteria for me getting that loan is even more way delusional. Because how can you tell me to go and look for a level 12 civil servant? How can you tell me to go and get a signature of a lawyer that is close to be a son? And you tell me that if I don't pay the loan in after 2 years of NYC, I'll have to pay a fine or get jailed in this current economy. Is that not a joke? What are the things put in place to actually support the student loan act? Student loan act is a no for me because it's not in favor of the poor masses. You said the what the requirements is your go down to request for student loan. The parents should not be earning less than 500,000 naira. How in this economy? How is that even possible? I think the loan is just an avenue to actually rob the citizens of this country their basic right, which is education. It's not going to work. To the government right now, it's not going to work because it can't work.
No, you see, if you want to know what government will do on any policy, ask the people what they want. Government will definitely do the opposite. It's as simple as that. So what has happened with the student loan is that the plan of government is to hands of public education. Finally, they've been commercializing it with several charges that you can see in school fees. You will see something as insane as acceptance fee. What's acceptance fee? You give me an admission and then I have to pay to accept that admission. That's an insane fee actually. So they've commercialized it, they've turned it into a business. So but the level the government wants to go now is to privatize it finally. And that is why they've come up with the student loan, which is that let's introduce this to them, increase fees, and they've just started. The 100,000, 190,000 we were seeing in the media from Unilag and other places. It's just the beginning. Where they are going to is higher than that. So then they will tell you to go and take those loans. And if you look at it, the act itself shows that the loan is not accessible to even the low and middle income homes in Nigeria. For number one, they said you have to make you have to earn 500,000 annually. But if you look at it, you find out that how many families would meet up with that? That's number one, or hence that. Number two, how many of these people can meet up with the eligibility requirements, which is that the guarantors that you need to bring, or the civil servant, the lawyers, so it is just a dead end. So it is not, they are not interested in funding education either through the loan or even funding it properly. So it is a ploy to actually privatize education finally and bury public education so that the poor would not have access to education. It's as simple as that.
I think when we want to make policies, we should introspect and check at where these kind of policies have been made in the past, how successful it has been. The student loan of a thing is a very bad policy to start with. It's in place in the United States of America, and today majority of American citizens who are educated are indebted to student loan, owing about $1.4 trillion. And today in US, that's caused a lot of crisis where they are talking about forgiveness of debt. And that is the kind of policy we want to bring on board here in this country, where there is no even guarantee of work. employment as soon as people graduate, which will give them the opportunity to pay back their loan. So to start with, education is a social service and must, not should, it's a must that government should fund it qualitatively. No country can develop beyond the level of the quality of its education.
I would say that the Student Loan Act is an opportunity for the government to actually, stop funding education in particular. It is a well plan that they have actually been on it for a long time. They have been looking for every means, to stop funding education, and to now make it effective. They have planned to, implement the student loan, and they are claiming that, if you are not able to pay your school fees, of which they have already hiked in all campuses, Unilag in particular, this is the reason why we are here today. We are actually fighting a 500% fee hike. So if you are not able to pay, they are introducing that you actually get the student loan. And of course, it is very obvious that the student loan can be accessible for the for the children of the poor and the working people. Because in particular, if you have access to the guarantors that they are talking about, I mean the lawyers and the level whatever officer that they needed you to bring for you to get the loan, why do you have to get the loan in the first place? So a loan that you cannot get in the first place, it's impossible, and it is worthy of note that for you to get the loan, you cannot be paid the loan directly. They're actually going to make help you pay the loan as a tuition fee. In that process, like I've said earlier, the government, the Tinubu anti-people's regime is trying to share itself the responsibility of funding education and actually investing a lot of money. The 26% budgetary allocation as recommended by ECOWAS to invest it in what? In education in particular. So the student loan is not acceptable, especially for the students of the working people and the poor. And students in totality. The Nigerian students, the Nigerian people reject the student loan, and it is not going to stand.
I don't have to mince words saying that this is absolutely not an option. Look at the parameters of the loan. Look at everything. Look at what the government. I don't know how many people I don't know how people who are expected to make right decision will sit down and just make decision as if they are from entirely different environment, as if they are not from this country, as if we bring them from another country. I mean, look at our leaders. They are from this country. It's not as if they come from another country. So I don't have. The loan is nothing to write home about. Absolutely nothing to write home about. Look at the parameters. Look at all the consequences of taking the loan. You are not like so much. Your family 500. Where do you want to get all these things? Look at what the government is doing. I mean, for me, the loan is just absolutely, not an option. I can never. In fact, if I have my way, I would like this to get to the government straight, that they should just withdraw that loan and leave the school fees as it were. Take for instance, if in Unilag, for example, we pay 16,000 naira for school fees, 21,000 naira for those who have lab or anything. But now you have to pay 140,000 naira because of loan that you may not even be accessible, that's not even accessible, that's not easily accessible. I mean, take the school fee back to what it used to be. You don't want your loan, take your loan. That is it.
On the Student Loan Act, I consider it to be an enactment of an evil plan by the Nigerian ruling class that want to take more or less education out of the reach of students that come from working class families. Apart from the fact that there are so many onerous and obnoxious conditions under which students can even take that loan. Students are not even allowed to democratically determine who will represent them on the board of that student loan board. Apart from that is that the legislation itself is a foundation for the way for fee hikes we have seen. Because what it means is that the increment we have seen now is with that legislative option that you can, statutory option that you can go and take a loan. But instead of taking that loan, it's more or less walking the eye of a needle. I condemn that act in its entirety. And being an act of the former 9th Assembly, I call on the members of parliament in the 10th assembly to more or less abrogate that act.